everyone. As you probably know, I've been making crystals and crystal druzies and things like that lately. I'm going to have a go at making a really big crystal druzy inlay, and I'm going to be using these big plastic crystals. So let's have a go. First job is to mix up a bit of resin, because I'm going to use that for my base. The resin I will be mixing up is from Just For You online. It's called Epoxy Resin. This is it, my current favourite, and I'm only going to need a little bit, because all we're doing is creating a base to stick our little plastic crystals into. Just thought I'd try this because I've seen people use other sorts of crystals, and you know, the plastic crystals and various crushed glass and all sorts of things, which are lovely. It works very, very well. I've recently been making my own crystals, letting them grow in a pot. That also works beautifully, but I wanted some really, really chunky ones, so I thought, why not try this? And I saw these bags of plastic crystals and I thought they look ideal. Now, what to stick them into? Now, you could stick them into air drying clay maybe, but that won't necessarily give a shiny surface. You could stick them into plasticine, but don't, because if you're going to use this to make a silicone mould from, silicone does not like plasticine, and you'll end up with some horrible sticky thing that won't cure properly. So don't do that. So, you know, polymer clay I thought, but then you've got to bake it in the oven and the plastic crystals will probably melt. All in all, I thought, why don't you just set it in a bit of resin? So I mixed up a little bit here. As you can see, I've been whisking it rather, because it doesn't matter if I end up with a load of bubbles. This stuff degasses really fast anyway. But yeah, that should be well mixed enough now, but I'll just give it a little bit longer. Right, and I'm going to pour it in, and as you could probably see, this is the little coaster mould that I used for doing my footprints in the sand, using the water drop technique. It's in one of my other videos, so do take a look. You could probably see there was like a mark where the little footprints had been on the mould. However, I've used this a good few times since, and those are just a coloration thing. There's not actually any texture to those footprint shape marks, so it's not caused any issues at all. You can just about see them through the resin. Just going to make sure this has gone all over. It should give a nice base to our little crystal. Now, I will spritz it, although I'm not too worried about bubbles. I will spritz it with the alcohol spray. And I'm going to get a white handy. I always reuse my silicone stirrers. I clean my pots. I'll do that in a second. The only thing I don't reuse, because you shouldn't, is your gloves. I'll put you a link to the best safety video I have yet seen. As some of you will know, I have got contact with a proper chemical compliance expert for one of the biggest companies in the world, and he's advised me a lot since I had all the problems with various resins and reacting with them, and I've spotted this video and it seems to concur with absolutely everything he's ever said to me. So that is the one I decided to share, because obviously I know his business is correct, and there's a lot of rubbish out there on the internet. So yeah, this one that I will share with you does completely concur with obviously no, his information is absolutely solid. It's kind of one of the world's leading experts, probably. So this is going to be a real chunky one, as you can see. Now, it's tempting to put some smaller crystals down in between these. I'm going to tip them up a little bit in places to make like points. I don't know, should I just keep moving them up? I'm just going to pack them in as tightly as I can. It's not going to look like real crystals, I'm sure. They're too regular in shape, I think, but it should be rather nice. Don't know what I'll do with it once it's finished. I'll come up with something, I will. But I've been dying to do this for a while. I've had this bag of plastic crystals for, what, 3 or 4 weeks now. It was one of my first Temu hauls. But you can get them off Amazon as well. You can get them all sorts of places, to be honest. Anywhere that does party decor and wedding stuff. Because they use them as sprinkles for your table, don't they? Right, I don't think I'm going to get any more in there, am I? I do want them really packed in. Oh, I've got one there. They're not all different sizes. It's a shame. Because it would have been handy to have little ones. Just see if I can get another one in there. I think that's going to do it. Right, if that works, that's going to be one chunky DRUZY inlay. Right, here are my harebrained ideas. Let's see if that works, and I will be back with you, well, in a good few hours when that is all cured up. So then we can, well, I suppose we can put it in something and try it. I've got a little bowl that'll probably go in the bottom of, okay? Don't know. I'll find something. Right, see you later. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this into the bottom of this little bowl. Now the silicone may well go underneath it. I'm not too worried if it does, because I can just trim it away afterwards. Could get my glue gun and fix it down, of course, but on the basis that I can't find my glue sticks, even though I found my glue gun. Yeah, I know, I need to get my act together. Yeah, so we'll leave that. However, I will need to trim the edges off anyway to make this into like a DRUZY insert. Now I'm mixing up my silicone. This is the 1-to-1 rubber silicone from Let's Resin. It is genuinely the only one I use nowadays, just simply because I find it so very, very good. It's easy to use, reliable results, and in case you want to use ultraviolet curing resin with it, it's quite transparent as well. Here's the small ones I made with it. Remember, it's you know, translucent, I think is the word. You can get your ultraviolet light to go through it. Okay, so just going to pour that in. See if that's enough. Don't think it's going to be. No, I'll mix up a little bit more and pour it in. Now this silicone takes, what, a couple of hours or so to cure. Not very long really. So yeah, I'll be back to take a look at it in, well, in the blink of an eye for you folks, you lucky people. Now obviously I'm using a yogurt pot because I don't want to get it stuck all over my silicone pots because it won't come off. And the same with my mat. I'm going to try not to get it on the mat here. If I do, clean it off quickly because I don't really want a load of you know, silicone stuck all over my silicone mat. So it does need mixing thoroughly, probably a bit longer than what I'm doing here, but we should be alright. When in doubt, double the length of time that I stir for to be on the safe side, I would say. It doesn't start going off for quite some time anyway. Probably want to stir it for 3 or 4 minutes in reality. Anyway, I'm just going to wing it and chuck it in and hope for the best. Now I think this is going to be far too chunky to use as an inlay for anything. However, we should be able to take castings off it, shouldn't we? You know, just actually make crystals, duplicates of it, you know. So there we are. Yeah, so I might as well make it chunky as well. It ain't going to be an inlay, it's too thick, too big. Right then, so we've let this mould sit for quite some time, letting it just breathe a bit really. Wanted to make sure it was 100% set, and as you can see it's quite shiny because the little plastic crystals I put in it were also quite shiny. So that's the way it works, folks. If your mould's shiny, if your item's shiny that you take your mould from, you'll get a shiny mould, and then whatever you reproduce using that mould, you will get shiny. So here we go a minute. Just getting this stirred up. Now what I'm going to do is just pour this in. I'm not going to have any colour, but I am going to put holographic inlay in the back of it. So just going to keep stirring until this is done. And I think that should be pretty much it. I was stirring for a few minutes before I turned the camera on. Right then. Going to give the little mould a little bit of a spritz with some alcohol spray first. That's just my usual isopropanol alcohol. That's just to help any bubbles release really. And I'm going to go around like so, just get a bit of a coat in here, make sure I've filled in all of the little recesses, and then we'll top it up till it's there we go. So just going to let it cure now. I'm going to let the bubbles will degas on their own. You can see there's one or two little bubbles in there, but that will just clear on its own. This resin's very good at clearing like that. So there we go. I'll see you. Oh no, I was going to put the, nearly forgot. I was going to put the holographic DRUZY on the back. So holographic thing. Just going to lay that on the top. I hope it's contacting the resin. Looks like it is. I'll put a bit more just in case. That probably means I'll end up with some overspill. But if you do this, you do want to make sure that your holographic inlay is yes, it's blodging out the sides. Yeah, so we know it's contacting the resin. Okay, I'll see you then for the demold. Excited about this one now. This is going to be hopefully a chunky crystal with some sparkle. So first of all, let's take the holographic inlay off. And it looks like it didn't contact all of the resin. Maybe I didn't pour it even. Maybe I need to lower this side a little bit. Not sure. But it's contacted most of it. So let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. Now obviously there's going to be some spillage for me to trim off afterwards, but that's not a problem. So let's see if we can get him out of the mould. I largely want to see what the mould looks like and how easy it demoulds. And if it all hangs together, that's the main thing. And then if we got a bit of sparkle, oh no. No, that is all of it. Got a bit of a strange edge here. That's where I didn't fill up enough, I think. But oh look. Look at. Let me just take this off. Let me get the scissors, that's the easiest way. While your resin's still got a bit of pliability to it, which means I should have my gloves on. Didn't realise it had, to be honest. But while it's still got a little bit of pliability to it, that is how easy it is to take off any unwanted edges. And you could take out these little bits all the way around as well. Now I think I need to have another go with this mould. Yeah, look, see, I can make it geodey all the way, well, you know, crystally all the way around like that. Yeah, I think I do need to have another go though, because that wasn't quite what I had planned. It was meant to end up with a nice round base, but it doesn't matter. The main thing is that that holographic inlay shows through it beautifully, and what a chunky crystal. So in principle, I'm really pleased with that. Now looking at this, I can see that I must have had the bowl on a bit of a slope, and that's why that's happened. So not a problem. What I will do is, well, I could make another mould, but there's a lot of silicone there. So what I might just do is whenever I use this mould, just take one of my little stirry sticks and prop that side up. I don't know why I didn't notice it was so uneven, to be honest. I can stir that on there, stand that on end, or I can, you know, just put a wedge of something under it. I've got all those scrap bits of silicone from a previous mould. We could do that. So yeah, that's fine. Now I know. But in principle, yeah, there's our original with all the plastic crystals stuck in. And there is our cast, shiny, and the holographics come through. Of course you could put colour in and all that sort of thing. So yeah, not the perfect end piece, but a proof of concept, absolutely. I shall be doing some more of these. In fact, I shall make a short video soon just having another go, doing exactly the same thing. In the meantime, I hope you found this useful. I've certainly enjoyed doing it, and it's something a little bit different for me, so I hope you did too. If you'd like to give it a thumbs up for me, that would really help, and of course the subscribe and notification buttons are down the bottom as always, so thank you to all of those who choose to subscribe. See you all for the next one.